Nash Radio. RadioNash.com. Nash Radio. RadioNash.com. Nash Radio.
This is Motivational Arena, weekend Motivational Radio Talk Show. We are streaming live on your internet at RadioNash.com, your number one online radio station. Thank God once again for another bright day. Today is the 18th day of January 2014. You can imagine and you can bear with me that the days are going as fast as we can all imagine. And so this is a time for us all to put those goals, those resolutions that we have all made or that we made before the beginning of the year or at the beginning of the year. And here on Motivational Arena, we began with you a month-long series on career, everything regarding career. For the past 2 Saturdays, we have engaged you on a few thoughts on how to make good career choices. And so Emmanuel, who is a career coach, joined me and we had an in-depth discussion of how to make good career choices. And then last week, he also joined us and then we spoke so much about career planning, how your personality can match well with the kind of career that you would want to engage in. And each and every one of these audios are available on YouTube. Just visit YouTube and then you subscribe to our channel, Motivational Arena. Motivational Arena is spelled Motivational with a space, and then Arena is spelled Arena. So you find our channel on YouTube and then you listen to each and every one of these audios if you didn't join us live on air. Today once again I'm bringing you an HR professional. She is involved in HR issues and so she is very much vested in what we are going to talk about today. She is going to talk to us in the second leg of the series, and so she's going to take this Saturday and next week Saturday. So this Saturday she's going to engage us on something about career change. Now here is something I found very interesting in my bid to researching for the show today, and here is what I found. That the last data by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics through the National Longitudinal Survey of Youth in 1979 showed that individuals between the ages of 18 and 38 will hold more than 10 jobs. This is quite an interesting set of data or statistics if you ask me. And so the question therefore is, why would people change their career? If you made a career choice or if you really made the right career choice, why would you make a career change along the line? Or even if you want to make a career change, what are some of the wrong reasons or the right reasons why you may want to make a career change? Are there justifiable reasons why anyone would want to make a career change? These are some of the thoughts we'll be engaging you on Motivational Arena, weekend Motivational Radio Talk Show. And my name is Jonathan Adepo, a regular host for the show. And so in no time I'll be raising our resource person on Skype and then we'll just go on with the interview. So I just want to urge you to call a friend. Don't listen to this show alone. Call a friend, send a friend a tweet that is live here on Motivational Arena, weekend Motivational Radio Talk Show, here on Nash Radio and one online radio station.
Nash Radio. RadioNash.com. Nash Radio. RadioNash.com. RadioNash.com. RadioNash.com.
Good morning, Patricia.
Good morning, Jonathan.
Thank you so much for joining us for the second leg of the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
And so I know you are aware, you've been following this series since we began. Of course, you are one of the brains behind the organizing of this series, and I want to thank you so much for your insightful motivation and inspiration. As I've made our listeners aware, you are going to take us in career change today and then career diversification next week. So without much ado, I just want us to go deep into what we are having today, career change. Patricia, when we talk of career change, or even before that, would you want to introduce us a little bit to our listeners, just so we get to know who exactly is talking about career change with us?
Well, Jonathan, Patricia is HR professional, personal development and career coach. I've been practicing HR for over 7 years now, and it's something that I'm very, very passionate about when it comes to helping people find themselves within themselves. Because I believe that people have natural abilities that, when harnessed properly, it can help them live a fulfilled life by having a fulfilled career. Yes. So briefly, that is what I would say about myself.
All right. So that's the reason why you authored the book on uncovering the hidden self.
Sure. That is the whole motivation behind the book, Uncovering the Hidden Self. It's a joy to help people understand who they are, to help people discover that special talent that God has graciously given to them. And once you are able to do that, then you'll be able to live a fulfilled life. In that way, you wouldn't think that God is partial, Yeah, sure.
All right. So I believe in the course of the interview, certain thoughts might come up that you may want to revisit the book. And so for now, what exactly is career change?
Well, thank you, Jonathan. When you talk about career change, it means that already you are in some form of a career. And I know Emmanuel has done a lot of extensive discussion on that, what a career is, and then the processes involved in choosing a career. And so if you are in the right or wrong career, then it means that you realize, okay, at this point in my life, based on the information that I now know, based on the knowledge, based on the experiences I've had, I think I'm in the wrong career. And for that reason, I need to change career. So when you are changing careers, it means that you've realized that you are not finding fulfillment in one particular career. And so you make up your mind to change careers.
So is career change necessarily about, let's say I'm an accountant and then now I want to shift into engineering, or it could just be a change also in industry? Maybe I was an accountant in a bank and so now I want to be an accountant in an oil firm, for instance. Could that also be regarding a career change?
No, career change is actually a change in your, like a profession. For example, like I said, you are an accountant in one industry, and then if you move on to another industry, you still pursuing your career, except that you change industries or that you change jobs. For example, let's take a doctor, right? Being a doctor is a career. Now, if a doctor decides to work from one hospital to the other, the fact that he changes hospitals doesn't mean he's changed their career. It only means that he's changed his job. And so career change is not necessarily changing jobs. It means changing career completely. Maybe you are an accountant and then you want to venture into engineering, for instance.
So yeah, now I get it now. Career change is basically about a total change in the whole career that one finds him or herself. So the question then comes again that if one made a decisive decision to venture into one career or the other, why then at one point in time would the person want to change along the line?
Well, there are various reasons why people at a point in their lives decide to change careers. But for me, I think the ultimate reason would be that most people normally don't spend so much time making informed career choices. And to be able to make informed career choices, as Emmanuel told us, you really need to understand who you are, and it goes through a whole lot of processes. And so if you don't make that informed decision about your career, it will get to a point that you'll be dissatisfied. In fact, a survey on worker dissatisfaction reveals that 80% of people who are working now are dissatisfied with some important aspect of their careers. And so it's because people don't make informed decisions when it comes to their career.
Yeah.
But of course, people will change
statistics.
Yeah.
You can go ahead.
Yeah. So people will change jobs for various reasons. It might be the right reason or the wrong reason, but just for you to have an idea of how or the reasons why some people change jobs. For example, you are a young person, a young lady, let me say, you are not married, and so you choose a career that involves a lot of traveling, that involves tight schedules, and at a point in time it's fun for you. You're enjoying it, you love it, you love the fact that you travel around the world. But it gets to a point that your life changes. For example, you get married. And when you get married, you start to raise a family, and then you realize that no, traveling around the world will not be a good thing for you. And so people then decide that, okay, they will change careers and find a career that is more family friendly, if you like. And so when it happens like that, they really change careers. Another reason will be, it gets to a point that people find out that the energy with which they started their career is waning, or is no more there. It's gone down, so morale has gone down. And so when it happens like that, even going to work becomes a challenge to them. They no longer feel happy going to work, and they can't actually stand going to work. And in fact, if you are to give them an opportunity to choose between going to work and staying home or becoming sick so that to stay home, they will actually choose to be sick, because now they don't want to go to work, they are not happy. So when it gets to that point in their time, they decide that, look, let me find a job or a career that will inspire me, and so they change careers. Another reason I have observed is the type of job. You know, some jobs are naturally, or let me say, more stressful than others.
Yeah.
And so when you find yourself at a point, you are okay with it, you are okay to contain the stress, but it gets to a point that it becomes too much for you, and then you are watching your health, and you are preserving your mental capacity and all that. And people choose to change careers so that they will find a career that is less stressful, to preserve their health, if you like. And also, one other reason I think make people change careers is the desire for money, desire to earn more money. You know, let me give you an example. When Ghana discovered oil in 2007 in commercial quantity, now the talk became the oil and gas industry, and so most people decided to change careers to move to the oil and gas industry. For me, I think the issue was the money, because everybody thought that the oil and gas industry, the money is good, there are so many benefits and all that. And people started, training in the oil and gas courses. And I tell you, even from the mining industry, a lot of mining companies lost people to the oil and gas industry. So I would say these are some of the reasons why people normally leave their careers or change careers. But one funny example that I've observed is that some people also change careers because they see their friends doing well in one particular career.
Yeah.
It may be a wrong reason, but people do that. For example, I have a friend who was into social work, but then I was into HR, and she thought that it was interesting to be in HR, and so she decided to change careers. But she's doing well though, but I'm saying that she decided to change her career just because her friend is into HR.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these are some of the reasons I think people change careers.
Very insightful, really. You know, in our last two series, Emmanuel took us through certain things we need to consider in making a career choice, and he based it more on personality and values and all of those. But I want us to look at it also in another dimension. You spoke of the fact that one might make a career when he or she was single without making, an arrangement for family. And so at the point when family comes in, then you may want to reconsider whatever career choice you might have made. Now, along those family lines, what are some of those reasons that I, as a single, would have to start making in order to accommodate something like family, for instance?
Yes, and so, most people, like you rightly said, make career choices based on their present situation, condition. We don't look ahead in the future to find out what other options may be there. And so that is why, before you choose a career, you may want to explore further. I'm a single person, I'm going by this career. Okay, if I get married, what would be the consequences for this career? Would I have to change careers because I have married or because I'm raising a family? Once you are able to ask yourself these questions and find answers to them, then it will help you make even a more informed decision as to which career to pursue. Some people, it depends on what really motivates them, and it depends on your values as well. If you feel that family is number one priority for you as far as your values are concerned, then of course, when you are choosing a career, you'll be mindful which career will take you away from home and which one will make you more available for your family.
So you also stated a few reasons why people would want to pursue a career change. So now the question is, which of these, I believe some of these could be justifiable reasons. Which of them could be justifiable reasons and which may not be considered as necessarily justifiable?
Well, like I said, for one to change careers just to earn more money, for me, I think career goes beyond money. Career is a pursuit of personal goals. Career is a pursuit of a lifelong ambition. And people volunteer just for their career and don't think of money. So if your sole reason for changing jobs or changing careers is to earn more money, then I think you've got it wrong. Right? So yeah, for me, I think, and then also because your friend is pursuing one particular career and she is doing well in that career, is not a good enough reason for you to change careers. Because remember, your talents are different, you have different personality types, and so one career that may fit your friend so well might not fit you. And so you don't change careers because your friend is pursuing a particular career and you want to be buddies, so let's go together kind of. No, it doesn't gel. Yeah.
Alright. Those are quite some revealing thoughts you've raised as far as money and having a friend who is doing well in one career or the other. Now, in the course of my research for this very show, I just went on the internet to find a few reasons why people make or pursue career changes, and one of what I realized appeared on about 3 different websites I've visited was the fact that most of us do not have a good fit between our personal strength and capabilities and then the kind of job that we find ourselves in. So then the question then would be that why would one want to go into a career where he or she feels or knows that their strengths and weaknesses do not necessarily balance with that kind of a job?
Thank you, Jonathan. For me, I think I go with what the Bible says, that for lack of knowledge my people perish. You see, people, if you don't have knowledge, understanding of what career is actually involved or what it entails, then you make choices that are not informed. And I don't tend to blame people too much because look at the educational system. If you start like junior high school, go to the senior high school, the courses are prescribed. And then we don't train people based on their natural abilities. the educational systems don't train people based on their natural activities, natural abilities, I beg your pardon. And so if parents don't really take time to understand their children as they're growing up and guide them as to what their natural abilities are, as what their talents are, and then when it comes to guiding them in choosing their career, they bring those things into bear as to what choice of career to make. It will be difficult for a young person growing up to say that let me make this career choice or that career choice based on my natural abilities and strength. Except those who have, for example, listening to talk shows like we are doing right now and have come to the understanding that I need to really take time to understand myself, understand my strengths, my weaknesses, my abilities, so that I'll make informed career choice. If somebody is privileged to have this information, then they would go through the process and then make the right career choice. But if they have no privy to such information or knowledge, it will be difficult for them. They will just go by what the educational system has put together or laid down for them. And it becomes very difficult. And even sometimes, Jonathan, when children have identified their natural abilities and they think that this is the way they should go, you have parents telling them no because they have another agenda for the children. And I think that is very sad.
Yeah.
Because I know of somebody who is very artistic person. He enjoys artistry, he likes drawing, he likes becoming just an artist. But the parents wouldn't have that because, he came from a family that according to them are affluent, academicians and all that. And so for him not to go to school, become a lawyer, which they wanted him to be, would be very difficult. And so it got to a point in his life, he had to just go by what the parents said. He went to school, got a certificate, and then went back home and said, Dad, Mom, okay, this is the certificate. Now I want to pursue my dream and become an artist. You understand? So how many people who have that courage, to do this kind of thing that this gentleman did? And so they will end up in the wrong career and just become dissatisfied. And when you are so dissatisfied with your career, if you don't take time, you'll be so dissatisfied with life that you may want to end it. Sadly so.
Very, quite sad actually. And I believe that's the reason why we put together a show of this nature to educate each and every one of us. Because believe you me, my own self, I have, within these 3 weeks, as you are also speaking right now, I have had to make a few changes or a few thoughts on certain decisions that we have made along the line. So having spoken about all of these, and I believe we've touched on a few signs that indicate that there is a need for a career change, is there any more signs that one may want to look at or that one is going through or experiencing that is an indication that, hey, I think I need a career change?
Yes, Jonathan. There are some signs that I've observed that, in fact, when you see these signs, either in isolation or together, you may want to probably change careers. Yes, we've already mentioned some. But what I will add to that is the fact that when you realize that you are constantly exhausted, and I'm not talking about being exhausted or being tired for work done, but you are exhausted just even before you go to work. You wake up Monday morning and you dread going to work, and you fall sick so often. If I say that if you don't really like your career, if you are not enjoying your career, the probability that your career will have a negative toll on you is very, very high. Because when you are happy working, the kind of energy that you use to work, it helps you, it keeps you healthy. But then if you are not so happy and you are always stressed out and you are not very, very, even when you wake up in the morning, it's Monday morning, you dread going to work. And so when you see that constantly you are falling sick most of the time, not because of the environment in which you work, because it could be that you are working in an environment, a toxic work environment and all that. That's not what I'm talking about. But within yourself that, look, I'm falling sick often because I just don't like going to work. And when it gets to that point, my dear, I think it's time for you to consider changing careers.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
for some, you know, when it's Friday, you hear them scream, "Thank God it's Friday." And then when it's Monday, or it's Monday again, you know, they even especially Sunday night, they just lose Sunday night. They wish Sunday night never comes so that Monday will come for them to go to work. In fact,
someone actually made a joke that you know, because of the false image that China is quite known for making things that don't really last. Weekends are made in China. The fact that they don't really last, you know. So those are just some funny ways of we trying to show signs that, hey, you may need a career change, or that you may just have to change a career on one level or the other. But Patricia, I want us to look at it also in this way. Could it not also be the fact that we are not having the right perspective on our job, and for which reason we are frustrated? Now, again, in the course of my research, I read this story of one of the CEOs of Coca-Cola, who at one point in time asked himself that would he just be on this job producing sugar water for people to drink? Now that is one way he could have seen his job, or he could have also seen his job as being a reason why people are refreshed. I believe it's quite sometimes a reason of our perspective.
Yes, you are right, Jonathan. And that is why before you make any career choice, having known yourself, having discovered your talent, your gifts, and all that, you also need to explore the world of work, to do more research on the kind of career you want to pursue, and so that you have the right perspective. Actually, if you are not enjoying your work because you see the negatives, that is another thing. But most often than not, you realize that people are not happy just because they are in the wrong career. And I'm not talking about, you see, if you are not enjoying your job, it's different from not enjoying your career. If you are not enjoying your job, you just need to change your boss or your employer and you'll be okay. But if it's a career, it means that it's a total shift of direction. And that is where the issue really is. And that is why you don't just go into any career without making the necessary preparation, without doing the necessary research. And I was happy when Emmanuel mentioned the work environment and all that. Because if you do that, it will help you so that you know that even in the next 5 years, this career that I've told you, this is the career progression for me. And so from 5 years time, I want to pursue this kind of thing so that I'll be at this level of my career, because it's a progression. But if you don't know even the career levels in the particular career you have chosen, you will remain at one level, and once you are there, you may not find fulfillment. So yeah, it's a progression.
Wow. All right.
So I agree with you on that. Just to add to the science, if it permits me.
Sure.
I've realized that sometimes people are in careers and they make all the right choices, they make all the right decisions, but they realize that the outcome is not always too good. You put in a lot of effort, you think you've given it your best shot, but you always end up with an average result. When it happens like that, I think you might be in the wrong career. Because if you are making all the right choices and you are giving it your best shot, you shouldn't always be having an average result. You should be having, near excellent result.
Yes.
So it's one sign. If you are in a career and you know that you are doing your best, you make all the right decisions, you make all the right choices, yet the outcome is most often wrong, then I think you should consider a career change.
I believe that is also another revealing one you just made mention of, the fact that you are putting in some amount of effort and yet the results you are having, it's more or less like pouring water on the rocks, where you are absolutely making no progress whatsoever. Because as
Yes.
you made mention of, career is something progressive, and it's based on the results that you produce that you might be promoted in one way or the other. So having
Exactly.
touched on the signs that indicate for a career change, I believe it's appropriate for us to look at certain steps to take if one wants to make a career change. So I've seen all of these signs. I'm tired, I'm frustrated, I'm not enjoying my job. Now I want to make a career change. What do I do?
Jonathan, just before I go into that, if you will permit me, I'd like for us to look at some of the mistakes career changes make. Some of the mistakes that people who want to change careers make. And once we go through those mistakes, we would encourage our listeners to avoid them and then help them through the steps that will help them make successful career changes.
Sure.
If that's
Let's just
okay.
go ahead with that.
All right. So one previous mistake that I've realized people make is the fact that they make career changes without any plan.
Without a plan.
Without a plan. So now they've realized that I'm in the wrong career. In fact, I'm not enjoying my job. I'm so frustrated. It's taking me away from my family, and maybe my marriage is suffering. And so I need to change career. But then they just go ahead without any plan. And if you do that, you end up being worse than you were before. Because a successful career change doesn't just happen. Sometimes it takes months or even years. And so even if you have a plan or you have a strategy, so if you don't have one, then you'll be very frustrated. And so this is a mistake that anybody deciding or wanting or considering a career change must avoid. You must avoid just jumping from one career to the other without a proper plan in place, because you end up being so frustrated. So when you talk about the plans, you talk about action plan, you look at the strategies, you even look at the research, the kind of education, the kind of training you need to have in order to enter into that kind of career. And then also, you see, once you change career, it means that the income that you may be having at the regular career or the old career, you may not be having. And so if you don't also develop a sound financial plan to support your transition, you would be very frustrated. Because then you realize that the money is not coming at the end of the month as it should. So what do? You have needs, you have obligations. How do you fulfill them? And so before you think of changing careers, you need to also say, okay, if I'm not working in the next 5 months or even a year, how am I going to survive? This particular career that I want to go into, what are the financial requirements? What do I need to do? Who do I contact? Do I have enough savings? Have I made enough investment that I can live on? Or do I have a family that I can depend on to support me at such a time that I'm able to be on my feet to take care of my own needs? These are questions you should ask before you enter into a new career. But people don't. They just come out and then they become more frustrated. They are wondering, why is it that I didn't stay in Egypt? Why am I moving to the promised land? You understand? These are some of the things. So before you should leave Egypt, make sure that you are well prepared financially to be able to stay in the promised land. Then another mistake people make or career changes make is the fact that they change careers without examining all the possibilities. You may have to, in fact, you do have to conduct thorough research into all the possibilities, including the career field that you have never heard about. So that you'll be able to make informed, because you don't have to make the same mistake you made in the first place.
Yes.
You know what they say, if you make a first mistake, you should learn from your mistake. You don't repeat your mistakes. So initially you didn't make that informed decision, and so you rush into a career. Now you have an opportunity to change. Why don't you take your time to explore all the possibilities and all the opportunities you have? For example, if you are, or you've been in radio production for some years, and then you think that you want to change careers, maybe you want to go into teaching instead, you need to ask yourself, is it really what I want to do? And what are my reasons? What are the motivation, or what is the motivation behind this career change? it could be that you want to maybe impart others with your kind of communication skills, or you want to help young adults become successful, you want to mentor people and all that. But you need to ask yourself, is going into the teaching field the best choice for me to maybe pursue this kind of dream?
Yes.
You need to ask yourself that question. If you get to the point where you can't really be sure, please think twice, because then you would maybe go into that and not be satisfied. You know, and these
I think that's a very, very, very important one you just made mention of, the fact that you shouldn't just, jump into a career because perhaps you think maybe the skills that you have developed on one career might help you in the other career. So you would have to think through to know your motivation and whatever it is. Because with the example you made, I believe maybe if you want to really impact people, you might end up being a consultant, for instance. That is also another way of doing the same thing, perhaps in a different way. You can just go ahead.
Yes, thank you. And so people make this mistake, and I think our listeners should endeavor to avoid such a mistake. Another mistake is also just rushing into another career without taking your time to understand who you really are. You know, in the first place, you ended up in the wrong career because you didn't take time to appreciate who you are, to really appreciate your talent and what you can do naturally, and so you ended up in the wrong career. And so before you move on to another, please be sure that you are moving on to the right career. Like I said before, so you don't make the same mistake twice. It would be unwise to do that. So you really, really have to, even the kind of career you want to go into, ask yourself, what the environment that I want to work in, what are the kind of, because corporate organizations have corporate cultures.
Yes.
Are they in line with my values? Will it be okay for me to enter into such an environment? Will my personality type allow me? Is it something that will be okay? In terms of the financial compensation and the benefits, will I be okay with it if I'm paid so much and I spend a whole lot of time doing that kind of career or that kind of job? Will I be okay with it? People don't consider that, and so you realize that they make mistakes over and over again, and they become so frustrated, and they think that God has not been fair to them, or that life has not been fair to them. And so before you move on to that, to any new career, I think we should make a very informed decision on that.
Yeah.
And one thing I've realized is that people give up too easily. Some of the mistakes, one of the mistakes is that you know that this is the right thing to do. You have to change careers. You've gone through all the processes, but then you realize that you are not breaking through at the time that you have set for yourself, and so you give up. I think it's a mistake, because let us face it, when you are making a major change in your life, it doesn't just happen.
Yes.
It takes effort, it takes time, it takes commitment. And so you really, really need to have a heavy dose of determination if you really want to succeed in your career change. And the mistake people make is that they give up too easily. And I think our listeners should avoid that kind of mistake. Yeah, so these are some of the mistakes that I think people should avoid if they want to change careers.
Very, very revealing once again. And we are all learning every day.
Yes, indeed.
Wow.
Yes.
So now, having seen these wrong reasons why people would want to go into a career change, I believe we can now look on the flip side to look at the right way. What are some of the right steps that one will want to adopt when making a career change, or when thinking of making a career change?
Yeah, thank you, Jonathan. It's very important that we state the fact that it's not wrong to make a career change, because it gets to a point that it doesn't work anymore. I have this friend who came to me one Saturday and said, Patricia, I am done. I'm not going to do this anymore. And I was surprised. I was like, what are you not going to do anymore? Because I thought she was talking about her marriage, But then she told me, I'm not good doing that job anymore. And I'm like, wow. And she said frankly that I'm not fulfilled. So what do you think I should do? I want to change careers. What are the steps you think I should take? I said, wow. And I know a lot of people are asking this kind of question. You know, what is it that I should do? And there are various steps that we need to go through so that we have a successful career change. And the number one step, according to my estimation, is to know exactly what you want.
Know exactly what you want. You should be definite.
You should be definite about it. You should have no doubt in your mind that this is what you want. If you have doubt in your mind, perhaps you need to talk to a career coach, because you really need to understand exactly what you want. Because it's a new direction you are taking. And unless you know exactly what you want by understanding or examining your life, so you need to ask yourself, what do I really like to do?
Yes.
Right? What is it that really excites me? What gives me that energy, that drive to want to wake up every morning? What is it that I'm so passionate about? And so if you're able to answer these questions, then yes, based on these questions, explore the possibilities. There are endless possibilities. Explore them and then make a career choice. But if you are not so sure, because it means that you are rediscovering yourself all over again. And so if you are not so sure, then I would entreat you to talk to a career coach, or even take career assessment tests. A lot of them are available online. Yes. So take a career assessment test. It will help you. And if you are still unsure, talk to a career coach. But by all means, make sure that you are making the right decision by understanding what exactly you want and then going for it. And the next thing, and the next step you need to take is to research new books. It's very important. You should have options. Don't limit yourself, because if you limit yourself, you realize that there's something that you can do very, very well, effortlessly. But if you don't have information on that, then you may not be able to pursue that kind of career. And so before you move on to a new career, make sure you do extensive research. And these days, thank God for the internet. You know, you can have any information on the internet. Yes. So you make time to really, really research, read, research. And then one other thing that I think is very important, I don't know how many people overlook it, but I think it's very, very helpful, is for you to find a mentor. Find a mentor in a particular field that you want to enter into. Believe me, changing careers is a major life decision that can get you very, very frustrated if you don't do it right. It can be very overwhelming at times. And so you need support of somebody who has been there before.
Who's walked away, yeah.
So, exactly. The nice thing about having a mentor is the fact that you don't repeat mistakes that your mentor made. So you shorten your learning curve. So because you know the path. So you tell you that when you get to this point, it winds. When you get to this point, there's a bridge you need to cross and all that. And so you are setting in your mind that these are even the challenges that you will face as you pursue this career path. And so I think it's very important. So once you understand exactly what you want, once you research to the new careers, find yourself a mentor, somebody who is already in that field and who understands that industry, and then let him help you. And one other thing is also that you have to fall on the network or the contact of such a mentor, and it helps you a lot. And the mentor also holds you accountable, for the decisions that you make, and it saves you a lot of stress, it saves you a lot of time. It's very, very helpful. So I will encourage our listeners to find a mentor. Even if you're already in a career that you think is fulfilling, you still need a mentor, because it helps.
It helps, yeah, it does help.
Then the next step I want to talk about is, once you have discovered or you are clear in your mind what new career you want to pursue, you also need to identify the skills that you can transfer from your current career or the old career to the new one. there are certain skills that are transferable, that are applicable to whatever career you find yourself. Talk about communication skills, talk about leadership skills, talk about planning, time management, those soft skills. And so you need to leverage on those skills in your new career. Don't take them for granted. Don't think that you're leaving all of them behind. You want to forget about the past, so you leave behind those skills. No, they will come in very handy in your new career. And then also, you need to identify the kind of training. Is it that you will have to pursue a different kind of education altogether, or that you need to pursue certain short courses to make you well positioned for your new career? This is a question you need to ask yourself. It may not necessarily be that you really have to leave your current career before you pursue that kind of education. Because once you are at it, you may want to explore, having identified what new career you want to pursue. You may have to explore the kind of training or education you need to pursue. And so whilst even at your career, your new or current career, you can engage yourself. These days you have distance education, we have sandwich courses, we have weekend school, evening school, and all that. So whilst you are still working, you can take the time to educate yourself, to train yourself for the new career. And it's very important. For instance, when I completed my first degree in education, I straight ahead went into teaching. I went to teach in a junior high school. I was teaching them French. But it got to a point that I realized that no, this is not what I want to do. I want to do more than that. I want to train people. I want to help people find fulfillment. I want to help people identify their talent. I want to coach people. And I thought that I needed to do something higher than that. And so whilst I was teaching, I decided to pursue a sandwich program in human resource development, a master's program in human resource development. And that is what I did. And it helped me a lot. It gave me the necessary training, the skills that I needed to pursue my career. And it went very well for me. So I think we should all do that. And then one question we should ask ourselves, which I think is very important, is the question of readiness. Ask yourself, am I truly ready to change careers now? Because you don't want a situation where you change careers and then you become frustrated. So you have to ask yourself, can I afford to be without a job for several months or even a year? Can I dedicate the necessary time to education, to a job search? Because if you leave a new career and an old career and you're pursuing a new one, you may have to be on the job market once again, search for jobs and all that. So make sure that you are really, really ready for that, because the job market, I tell you, is very choked. It's
actually
choked.
Now searching for a job is a whole job on its own.
Yes, it is. So be sure that you are ready. And then also you need to consider the kind of lifestyle or family situation that you are in, so that you don't end up losing your family or putting your family, your career ahead of your family. If you permit me, 2 more points.
Sure.
You also need to understand that you have to network. You are leaving an old career to a new one. You have to network. And these days, there are opportunities to network. You have to join a professional association online if you like. You in your desired field, you have to open up, just network, have a mutual benefit relationship with employers in the industry that you are interested in, professionals in that industry, and talk to them, find out how the industry is, find out the nitty-gritties and the ropes and all that. And so that you are well prepared, and that you can also, when you have such a connection, you can rely on them for information as to help you even progress in terms of career in that particular field or industry. And then also, you have to have realistic expectations. Things don't just happen like that. It won't come on a silver platter. So have realistic expectations. Understand that there may be roadblocks. Understand that you may face opposition, you may face challenges. And so prepare yourself. When you face such challenges, what do you need to do to overcome them? So that once you're able to realistically understand what you are going in for, you'll be well prepared, both mentally, both financially, even family-wise, so that you can really be sure that you have moved from an old career that is not fulfilling to a new one that you are really, really enjoying.
Wow. What can I say? I mean, this is one of the best doses of knowledge anybody can afford to have on such a Saturday morning. So we've touched on what career change actually is, the signs that indicate the need for a career change, the wrong or the common mistakes that people make when trying to change a career, and then now we've just been talking about steps to take to successfully make a career change. So are there other thoughts outside these you have spoken about that you may want to just add to the dose of what you've already given us?
Yes, Jonathan, one thing that we all must understand is that if you are in a particular career, you are in it, all things being equal for life, because it's a lifelong kind of ambition or goal. And so for us to understand that job is different from a career, because when you are pursuing a career, you don't just consider the monetary gain, or you don't just exchange your time and energy for money. You add your emotions to it, you add your heart to it. And so if you are in the wrong career, it means that your whole heart will be troubled. And you know how it is. If your heart is troubled, what can you do? What can you do? And so I think we should be very, very careful and understand actually what the career is all about. And then we'll be able to make informed decisions as to which one to pursue, which one not to pursue. Because you are not cut for all things. You can't do all things. You can do some things, but you can't do all things. You can't do all things in the sense that based on your strength and your weaknesses.
Weaknesses, yes.
Exactly. So you may be limited in a way. And so don't choose career based on the fact that, okay, this is the popular trend. You know, these days a lot of people are going into HR. I'm like, okay, what will be the motivation? It got to a time that everybody you talk to wants to pursue HR. And I ask myself, do they really know what it really involves? It has become a trend. Because they see let's say the adverts in the newspaper, this company is looking for an HR, and everybody thinks that, okay, that is where the money is, or when you complete school, it's easy to get a job. But that shouldn't be the only consideration, getting a job. What about creating one for yourself? And so if you know really who you are and you identify your natural ability, you may not have to be part of the if you like, the unemployed statistics in your country. Because knowing what you know about yourself and what you can do, you can create a job for yourself. You can create a career for yourself.
Wow. You can create a career for yourself. I think the issue on trends is actually a very important one. I remember when I completed junior high school and I was about going to university. I mean, I think the trend of medicine is still one that people still pursue without necessarily knowing what exactly they want. But I knew that I wasn't so strong in biology, even though I made a good grade. You know, sometimes it's just a one-time success that hits you, and then you know deep down yourself that you might not be able to pursue a career in something that people are telling you. And my parents actually wanted me to do medicine, and I told them I can't do medicine because I may not be able to stand blood and those things. And so I think what you said from the beginning of the show is that sometimes you also need to have that courage. That if everybody is going in a certain direction doesn't necessarily mean that it's the right thing. You need also to think, to know that, hey, this thing is right for me or it's not for me. Seriously, you have really, really, really educated us, and maybe if you have some final words you want to leave with me and our cherished listeners, you may just want to do that, and then we can bring the curtains down on today's show.
Right. Thank you, Jonathan. just to finish up, we just need to understand that the best way to develop a career is to make an informed decision based on your strengths, based on your interests, your values, your likes, your passion. And however, if you find yourself in the wrong career, it is not the end of the world for you. You should consider changing into a more suitable career. Because no matter how long you have stayed in an unfulfilled career, it won't one day turn into a career that will be fulfilling for you. You know, so it is better to get out and change the career than to remain in that misery for the rest of your life. Believe me, it's not fun. It's not going to be fun for you to remain in that misery for the rest of your life. And so,
I believe that's
yes,
the reason why
the
the
wrong
issue
career.
of depression and stress has actually taken an upward toll on most of us.
Yes, I believe so too. And so in order not to position yourself, or make yourself vulnerable to stressful situations, I think you should move on. It's possible for you to have a successful career change, but make sure that you do it right. Make sure that you go through all the processes, avoid the mistakes that we mentioned, and go through the process. It's possible. Don't give up. It's possible if you're really following the steps and doing it the right way. It is possible. So when you hit a challenge or a roadblock, don't give up. Find a way to overcome it and move forward. And in time, you will find fulfillment. In time, you will find fulfillment.
In time, you will find fulfillment. So, Patricia, I believe somebody might have been listening and interested. You have made a career change yourself, and so somebody wants you to coach them and to be able to smoothly switch from one career to the other. How are some of the possible ways to contact you and then just get the process going?
Yeah, thank you very much. The easiest way to contact me is by email. So I will give my email address if you permit me.
Sure.
And that's Tricia AK2000@yahoo.com. Tricia, I for Isaac, C for comfort, A for apple, K for Kumasi, 2000@yahoo.com.
Okay.
That's the best way. And I have people sending me emails and I respond promptly and we get going. So anybody who is interested, just send me an email, I'll get back to you.
Thank you so much for joining us on the show, and we are very much grateful for sharing such doses of knowledge with us.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. And I think people can also look me out on Facebook, Patricia Abena Konneh. Just search for me, Patricia Abena Konneh. You can also ask to join the Personal Development Ambassadors group, and we will get talking. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I am grateful, and I wish you all the best.
And hope to find you on the show once again next week for career diversification, our last for the series this month.
God willing, we will be there. Thank you so much.
God wishes it.
Bless you too. Bye.
Alright, listeners, so that has been Patricia Konneh. She has been speaking to us and sharing very insightful thoughts, if you ask me, on issues regarding career change. At one point in time or the other, we all need certain changes. You may want to change a few clothes from your wardrobe. You may want to change a few things about your life, and career is not an exception. And so she has raised a few thoughts on some of these for us. And within the next few minutes, I will sure have this on our website, radionash.com. Just visit radionash.com by close of day, and we'll have this published on our website for you to soak in what she has shared with us. If you didn't join us online, or a friend couldn't join us, you may just want to refer them to our website, www.radionash.com, and you are going to find this in a way that I believe would surely serve your purpose for a career change. So this has been Motivational Arena, Weekend Motivational Radio Talk Show, and my name is Jonathan Jiko, your regular host, and thank you for joining us. Hope to see you next week for career diversification. Now, when we talk of career diversification, it may not necessarily be a career change. Maybe you are in one career and you believe you can do other things in another career, or within the same career, you may want to do other things In other ways, people call it multiple income streams. You would want to get much more than you are making right now. How do you go about it? She will be joining us once again next week on the show, and she'll walk us through the steps of having a very successful career diversification. So as I said, this has Motivational Arena, Weekend Motivational Talk Show, and we stream live on internet at radionash.com and our online radio
Nash
station.
Radio.
And I hope to see you at the top next week. God.
RadioNash.com.
Concerned about you. So while your tears are flowing through your time of mourning, He is here to lift your heavy heart, 'cause He's in love with you. He knows, He cares, He sees, He's there. He'll carry you. He's concerned about you. Weeping may endure for a
Nash
night,
Radio.
but the morning will bring
RadioNash.com.
joy. He won't give you more than you can bear. He's concerned about you. He loves you, oh yes. He loves you, oh. He loves you, I know He does, He really does. He's concerned about you. He knows,
Nash Radio.
He cares.
RadioNash.com.
He's there. He'll care.
Nash Radio.
You.
RadioNash.com.
He's concerned about you.
Nash Radio. RadioNash.com.